Hey guys, how you doing? This is Bobby Davis. I'm here with Kernersville, North Carolina, the tech capital of the world, and I'm joined by my ever faithful producer, Kevin Doyle. Say hello to the world, Kevin.
Hey world. I fixed my camera today.
I like it. It's got a very saturated feel and contrast. I like it.
Yeah, and I didn't mess with it too much, but I messed with it a little bit from yesterday. So hopefully it's not too bad today. So still the same angle, but that's just how it is.
So we do have some humongous news today.
Do we?
Yeah.
What's going on today? Is it it's a book?
No, it's not a book launch. I mean, that's big, but there's some Destiny streamers that got outed.
I was like, there's other news.
Yeah, some Destiny streamers got outed today. Some famous streamers. So
so we were talking about this real quick just before this. So what is this about? This is like a technical thing, which I thought was super interesting.
Yeah. So these Destiny streamers, and I'm not going to mention the names because I don't want this to happen to me. I'm just a regular dude playing Destiny. I'm a dad that plays Destiny. But I have attempted something called World's First Raid, which is had a group last year, and we didn't get very far. We got through the first encounter, so we did pretty good.
Okay.
But there's streamers out there that make their living doing things at World's First Raid. If you don't know anything about Destiny, you get on the you have to complete the raid in the first 24 hours. You get a belt or a jacket or something like that. And if you're the first person, you get all kinds of love from Bungie. So
you get like physical stuff.
Yeah,
they send you actual stuff. Okay.
Yeah, and not to mention that if you're in the group of World First teams on Twitch and you get ahead, a lot of people are coming to your Twitch stream. You can get subs. You can get a lot of things. So these guys make a living.
It's a big deal.
They make a living doing streaming, and they're also professional, what we call P2P players or PvP players in Crucible.
Okay.
So Destiny has a trials component, which is you have to go 7 in a row, go 7 flawless, and then you can get stuff and like that. And so it's really hard to do. So there's this group of guys out there that got outed for logging into fire teams, pulling their IP addresses, and leaving. And this one guy was trying his World First Raid on his Twitch stream, and they continually kicked him off of it. But they're associated with other clans. So they're basically
and these are like known players then.
Yeah, they're known. Yeah, everyone knows who these guys are. Known players. Like these people are like there's DestinyCon. All these guys are invited to that.
Wow.
So they're associated with Bungie in a lot of ways. And so a lot of people lost all their stuff. And the one guy that I follow on Destiny, and he writes for Forbes magazine, believe it or not, this is Destiny streamer that writes for Forbes magazine, had a podcast with one of these guys every Monday. And he didn't know that he was up to this kind of stuff. So anyway.
Yeah, that's low. What's the point? What's the point in cheating at it? I don't get it. I don't know. I guess there's money involved, right? So I guess they've got to make themselves look
there's
good.
money involved. And then there's also this whole component of sexual harassment and this private Discord channel where they would go to these conference events and get pictures sent to them, and then they would share them and out these ladies.
Oh wow!
So there was a lot of this kind of stuff. But the main thing that's really scummy and the whole BSK and Orange Justice is the clans, and so if they're doing that, that's bad. I mean, it's bad behavior. The cheating's bad behavior, and they're also doing things called account recoveries. And so when an account recovery is someone would send in their username and password so they could use their account to go flawless in trials. And so the way Destiny works is you have matchmaking based on skill. And so a guy will enter into trials and you're on level 1, and this dude goes 42-0 because he's a professional PvP player and he's not supposed to be in your trials. You're supposed to do skill-based matchmaking. And and they're getting paid to do this too. So there's a lot of
it's like the underworld of this is kind of crazy. I mean, it makes sense though because there's a lot of money to be made. I've seen some of these guys that are game streamers. We've talked about this, game streamers. These guys have hundreds of thousands or millions of followers even, and they make thousands, tens of thousands in a day just streaming.
Yeah, and so so Destiny hasn't done anything to stop account recoveries. They haven't done anything to stop these the IP attacks. And so a lot of people have been complaining about it. And today, when the sexual harassment stuff came out, I think they had enough. And so they've ended relationships with a lot of these guys. So like,
wow.
I don't know.
They go Mavic test, they get banned or suspended. I'm assuming it's like a Bungie lifetime ban. It's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, you can make.
You don't want these guys to come back,
but I think they're going to lose their Twitch streams. Is the main
that's their source of income. Yeah,
you won't be able to go to the conferences, the trade shows, those kinds of stuff.
I mean, these guys leverage their face, right? They Twitch this stuff. They're on Twitch, they're on YouTube streaming or whatever, and it's like their face. They can change their name all they like, but they can't really come back to the levels they were before.
Yeah, I think
it's just low, man. It's low.
Right, cool.
Okay,
so that's the big news, Kevin.
The other thing we're talking about today, I just put a link in chat.
Yeah.
For
my
the book
come out today. So like you guys been asking when you can buy it. And so like I'm excited about it. So if you guys haven't bought it already, many of you have, I would love for you to go out, and we do have the 99-cent ebook out there today. Breaking the Code.
I got mine.
Yeah, it's on the app.
I got mine on my mine on my Kindle.
So like
it's cool.
So it's kind of cool. And then so if you're just curious about what we want to do, we want to make sure that we could practically give this away to our audience, especially YouTubers. And so you guys are here every day. You can spend 99 cents and get it. If you want a paperback that isn't discounted, there's printing costs involved, there's publishers, all that kind of stuff. So that's $15.99. So you can.
I bought mine this morning for $15.99.
Okay, thanks,
I
man.
put my order in. I bought it, so I am an official buyer. I get it Sunday.
All right.
So I have mine next Monday when we come back on. Like I'll have mine to hold too.
Yeah. So like it's a big deal for me. We're trying to today. Trying to get listed as an Amazon bestseller. So if you can help me do that, that would be awesome. Like, if you want to buy the 99-cent ebook or the paperback, either way. And that would be awesome. And I think the book is really good though. I really, really do believe that a lot of the reviewers that have seen it and read it have given me awesome feedback about it.
You get some of that feedback and they're like, oh, this is great. Like, you sound surprised. Like, what are you talking about? Exactly. Like, of course it's great. Like,
right.
I think a lot of people thought it was a technical book because obviously you're a very technical guy.
Yeah.
But it's not a technical book. There's no code in here at all, right?
There's a couple lines of JavaScript in there and C#.
And that's it. That's the only part where it compares two languages. But you don't even have to understand it.
No,
you don't even have to understand it to know what that is. So it's cool. It's a very soft skills book, and it's, its subtitle is 5 Steps to a Life-Changing Software Development Job, and those 5 steps are sort of that whole middle part 2 of the book.
Right. Yeah.
But it's a lot of the stuff we talk about here.
Yeah. So when we're placing students out of Coder Founder, we're realizing that we do an exceptional job on the technical aspects of this, but then we'll see some of them lose a job offer because of the soft skill stuff. Like, so we work really hard on that too. And so that's why I wanted to put this in, because I know that if a Coder Founder student struggles with this, someone that's coming out that's never been prepped and never ever been trained on how to win a job, it's hard to break in. You just have to do something exceptionally well or know somebody. And I don't think that's the case. I think that if you use these techniques in the book, you can take the things that you've learned, apply them in a job interview setting, and get a job.
Right.
So that's kind of
I think there's stuff in here too. I mean, obviously, so I've read this. I read it a couple of times now.
Yeah.
I read like a kind of an earlier version, then I read a pre-published version too.
Right.
A lot of this stuff I would say you can use outside of coding too. You don't have to be. It's not all software development stuff.
It's not.
Like I put a lot of it on me, and I was like, oh, okay. Like a lot of this applies to me too from a creative perspective. I was like, yeah, the portfolio stuff works, and being able to show it and talk through it and that kind of stuff. It's all the same kind of stuff. A lot of the soft skill stuff definitely applies across other careers too.
Yeah. So like, Third
cool.
Papa wants to know, does it go into my early college days? No. It's not autobiography.
No.
There's nothing super interesting about me, but it does talk about how I founded my first company though, a little bit in a way. The reason we do that is to show you and talk to you about like what the opportunity is like. And so that's my biggest message from Breaking the Code is the opportunity of learning how to code is an opportunity that should not be missed if you can do this. I've always said not everyone can learn to code, but more can than you think.
Right.
Not all of us are wired to sit in front of a computer 8 to 9 hours a day. Not all of us are wired to intensely focus on a particular problem till it's done. But more people can do that than they think. And there's and not all of us would actually enjoy the prospect regardless of how much money they paid us. Like I'm not doing that.
Right.
So,
it's not the right job for everybody. Definitely.
Right. But for the ones that can do that have that kind of mindset and likes to solve problems, and they're not coding, they should at least take a look at it. And so one of the ways that we do that is we test people coming in, the developer quiz, and Kevin can throw that up there. If you want to throw the developer quiz up and take that, if you get a high score, yes, we're going to call you. But if you have no intentions to come to CodeFounder, just say, I'm not interested in going to CodeFounder. I just wanted to see if this is right for me. And you get 80 or above, you should think about it. If you're in the 90s, you should really, really, really look into it. We think the quiz is that good at predicting whether you'll be good or not.
It's definitely panned out that way for sure.
It has, and it's
definitely panned out that way.
I don't know how many have taken the quiz, but multiple thousands probably.
I could go look, but it's a lot by now. It is a lot. Yeah, it's definitely a lot.
We know that it works. It's definitely a truth teller. Now, if you get like 50 on it, a 50 percentile, it doesn't mean you shouldn't quit. What that should tell you is you may have a longer road to break in. So our quiz is saying, could I learn this in 12 weeks, 3 months at a boot camp setting? Am I walking around like with that type of mentality, that kind of problem solving skills? Could I do it? And then if you get a 50, maybe community college is something that you want to pursue, like a longer 2-year road or a 4-year road or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a skill you need to develop. It is something you may be able to learn, that kind of thinking and that skill. It just means you don't have the natural ability to think that way.
Yeah,
but you can teach yourself to think that way.
And if you come to our Zoom book launch tonight, which I think you should, everyone here should, unless it's like 4 a.m. where you're at. I understand that. But go to bed now and wake up at 4. So cool. We're going to talk to a specific person that came out of the boot camp. And I think that is what's going to open your eyes to someone that thought about quitting, did quit. And I came along beside him and said, hey, and this isn't about me, it's really about him. And just told him, you can do this. You absolutely can do this. You're a fool if you don't pursue this. And he did it. He got back in there and he did it. And he went from, he was a college graduate and then he was driving a forklift. And there's nothing wrong with driving a forklift. I'm not saying that, but when we
he's way happier now.
Way happier now. There's income, there's hours, there's not physical labor. There's a lot of benefits to this, and it puts you on a career path that you really can't imagine. So I think that's kind of what we that's the genesis of this book. And at the end of the book, I think is real important is Grumpy Coder Guy, and I want you guys to read about that. It's almost a disease that happens in software development. It's like we learn this stuff, and then suddenly people come to us and ask us questions, and we get smartest guy in the room syndrome. Like, oh my gosh, these people are idiots. They don't know what I know. And that's true. They're not idiots though. Like they're smart in the business side of what they're trying to do. They're smart in like what the product needs to do. How to code, and like it sets up these wars between IT and business and IT and leadership. And Grumpy Coder Guy, because of his skill, which is highly valued, becomes a real hard person to work with.
Yeah, we see Grumpy Coder Guy every day on YouTube.
Yeah, but the rock stars are the ones that communicate well up to the business, up to the sales team, up to the leadership. Can explain what they do on a non-technical level that everyone can understand and still be highly technical to actually produce the software and produce the things. And that person has almost unlimited amounts of opportunity ahead of them,
Yep. I think in the book you liken the rock star guy to being somebody who is a sharer, and the Grumpy Coder Guy as like a hoarder, an information like black hole.
Yeah, and you get yelled at, or like you get made fun of, or like they insult your intelligence. And he doesn't want to share information. And he just wants to produce the results. And I used to say, like, you know, my common joke was like, man, we just need to close the door and slide pizza under the door because like you're impossible. Like you're impossible. Just make this work, right?
Yeah, just right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Let's look here in the chat. Let's get a bunch of you guys over here chatting.
I'm scared they won't get a good score, so I never took the quiz. I'm going to give you a piece of advice, Maverick. Don't be scared. Even if you take the quiz, man. No one's going to out your number one. We're never going to come in and say, look at Maverick's score. Just take it.
Unless you get a 98, I'll come on here and say how good it was.
You get a 98, you know. So like, but like, I think the fact that you can build a mobile site that we've seen, and we've seen you build one, you should pursue this as a living. So like, you know, it's pretty good. All right, let's get some questions.
Go take it. Here's the thing about the quiz too. Okay, just to make it a little bit less intimidating for you, I made the quiz. If that tells you something.
Yeah.
So
we laugh at it.
The
reason this is funny though, because like we made it in like it's not like we spent 6 months with a PhD sitting beside us to figure this out. But
no,
Kevin
we just knew,
launched it, and we knew kind of what we wanted. And even to this day, I would say we're surprised how accurate it is. Wouldn't you say that's right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're surprised really because we know.
But we're surprised.
Yeah, definitely. And we know the numbers. And we've had so many people take it now. We know what a good score is. And we've seen people who have done bad and ultimately have also not succeeded. And we've seen people who have done great and doubted themselves to be like, no, this is definitely for you. And then ultimately succeeded. So it's been a really good tell to be a good indicator. We obviously have other things too that we look at. We, as part of the school aspect of our stuff, we have other things we look at in terms of admissions. But the quiz is a big one. It definitely is a big one. It's a good indicator whether you can do this or not.
Yeah, put the quiz link in chat. They're asking to do that, I think.
Let me it's coderfoundry.com/quiz is what it is. But let me go grab this here real quick. I will put it in chat for you. You should all go take it. You should all go take it and come back tomorrow and tell me how well you did.
Yeah.
See, I know, like, for me, I'm actually good at these kind of quizzes. This is totally up my alley. I love this kind of stuff. The IQ style stuff and like pattern recognition, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm just naturally good at it.
Right.
So for me, it was like easy to come up with something. And I was like, oh, okay. And I literally just came up with the questions, which made it ungoogleable too, which was another requirement for us. We wanted to make sure you can look these questions up.
Eric, you can take this 1,000 times, man.
Yeah.
So like, there's no cost to it. Like, just take it a lot.
Yeah, you can go take it a lot. Every time you submit it, it sends us a message.
Yeah.
So from an application perspective for us, I did let you on the inside baseball. Yeah. If you take it like 4 times and you get a 40, a 50, an 80, and then 100, we're going to look at your 40 as far as your application goes.
Right.
It's just like you can go take it as many times as you like.
Yeah, and you can learn stuff each time you do it. We don't have a test bank. It's the same questions in the same order. We're not trying to do that.
Yep.
And there's no reason to try to game the system to actually get into Coder Foundry either. There's no reason to do that. So like, for you, it should give you a sense of where you're at in this journey and like, okay, am I good at these problem solving things? Can I figure out like patterns? Do I do substitution patterns well? Those kind of things. Because like coding is learning something and then applying that something to a different problem set. And that's the whole thing about coding. And that's what, when you see a model of how something's done, can you do that on a different problem? And that's what coding is. And that's what this test is. So it's kind of cool.
Exactly. It is a self-assessment tool. That's exactly what it is. Here you go. He says I do it every week. we should keep changing it out for you, Thomas. That'd be great. That'd be awesome. Here we go. So if you're doing the quiz, ignore the symbols, just change them for X and Y. And that's true. Some people cannot abstract that. You don't realize you have a skill in abstracting symbols for basic algebra. Trust me, that's a skill. Some people cannot look at it that way. As far as scores go in the quiz too, there's been very few 100%. Very few. It's less than 10.
Less than 10.
Out of thousands of people that have taken it, less than 10 people have got 100%. Yeah. So that's another reason to go take it. Go see if you can get 100%. Because there's one question in there specifically that people always come back to me on. They always send us a message and be like, "This question is wrong."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's one
it's
in
number
particular.
9 or number 12 or something. There's one in particular. Yeah, there's one in particular. People come back like, "This question is wrong," and I'll send them a message back, and I'll be like, "It isn't. You're just trying to find the obvious answer when there's a less obvious answer. The question is trying to make you dig past the obvious."
Right. Okay, there's one other thing about the book, and I'm going to put this on Ronnie's. I think Ronnie Overby put this in here. He says you think he might be Jeremy. I changed all the names in the book because I didn't want to out anyone, but I just want to reassure Ronnie. I can't remember who Jeremy is in the book, but it's not. I didn't write about you in the book, so I don't know if that's good or bad.
Depends what you said about Jeremy.
I don't know what I said about Jeremy. I can't remember the names because I changed all the names in the book.
Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can find Jeremy in the book. Hold on. The other great thing about this, of course, you can search on Kindle. So hold on.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if you don't know, Ronnie used to work here at Cortex.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Not so long ago, one of my developers, who I'll call Jeremy here, insisted on coding a project with a framework called Knockout. He told me that it was the greatest framework out there. He was so enthusiastic. I gave him the go-ahead. A few months later, Jeremy got his opportunity when we started a new project that required a new framework. Didn't you say Knockout was the perfect framework for our projects? I asked him. Knockout sucks, he told me. We need to use Angular right now.
That might be Ronnie.
So Jeremy / Ronnie. Okay.
But in all fairness, Ronnie knows this as well as anyway. I like Ronnie a whole lot. I mean, like, and he is an exceptional developer.
Hold on. And now I hate Angular too.
Exactly. I didn't put the story about Elixir in there either. So like, so like you want to do Elixir for a minute. Great. So it's kind of funny.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Anyway, Ronnie, I love you, man. So like, it's all good.
You are now Jeremy from this point forward.
Jeremy.
I forget what Ronnie used to call me. What did you used to call me? You had a nickname for me, Ronnie. I forget what it was. I probably, but now yours is Jeremy. So that's awesome. I love it. That's funny. So it seems like a bunch of people.
Now Ronnie's really gonna feel bad because like now Nightbot.
Oh no,
Nightbot's on you now, Ronnie. Sorry, man. So we've triggered Nightbot.
Could be a beast.
So
which I need to open Nightbot actually because in a little bit I think we're gonna give away a book.
Yeah, let's do it. Nightbot, we can give away a book.
Let me open up Nightbot. For some reason it closed. I don't have that ready. So what we'll do is at some point here, probably give me let's do 15 or 20 minutes and let everybody make a comment. So if you comment, you will have a chance to win a signed copy of the book. So let me set this up and we'll do that here and that'll be fun. Okay, so that is
Ronnie's saying that he likes Blazor. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Oh, okay.
I'd like your feedback on that, Ronnie. I like it too. I'd be curious to see what you thought about it. So maybe we'll chat offline. So
who came on and said they didn't like Blazor? I forget.
There's several on there. Our last guest, the coder, what was Sean?
Oh, Sean. Yeah, Sean wasn't big on Blazor. Yeah.
So, but he's more of a straight up React JavaScript guy. So it's a different paradigm. I can understand why. Not everyone's gonna like it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. So all you guys are buying the book. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for doing that too. Glenn got his copy. You can get your actual copy signed when. Oh no, you're not going to be coming to the class, are you? I keep forgetting sometimes, like that we're not actually there still. Exactly. Fiona's asking me, is the quiz timed? It is, Fiona. It's an hour.
Time. That's part of it too.
It's 50 questions in an hour, and that is part of it too. Yeah. You sort of have to be able to think through this. A lot of people finish it 30 to 50 minutes generally is sort of the ballpark time you're looking at. Some people take all the time. Depends on how you take tests.
Yeah. So Maverick says he wants to know, do introverts have a disadvantage? Because I'm one and very socially awkward, as you were talking about soft skills importance. So you have to train yourself out of that. You can have a disadvantage, but just remember, coders in general, they're not hiring public speakers. They're not hiring salespeople. They're hiring people that can code. But if you can present yourself in a professional way and in a confident way, you just have a better chance of winning. So you have to practice talking about what you're good at. You have to practice presenting your portfolio and your projects and how to talk about code. And there's the only way you can do that is practice. So find other people and, talk to them about what you're doing, how to demo things. So I think that's good.
Yep. Definitely practice your skills. I don't know about in your particular country. Here they have something called Toastmasters.
Yeah,
that can help with that kind of stuff, like public speaking, like interviewing, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Join a meetup group. That kind of stuff can help too with like interacting with people. And it's like this first few times are going to be tough. They are tough to go to.
Yeah.
If you are an introvert, definitely. But you're going to find a lot of other introverts there too. You're not going to be the only one. So it is just a matter of like dipping your toes in and then just jumping in. And if you can interview well, it'll give you a giant advantage for sure. But
yeah, so Brian King says he's digging my Black Panther posters.
Yep.
I like that.
Well, one of them's a poster, one of them's a wooden thing, right?
Yeah,
that
the wooden thing back there.
It's
a custom built thing back there. Like I put my own like lights behind it, and and then so that's the custom thing, and then that's just a Black Panther #1 in the newer run that's out there right now. So I'm a huge Marvel fan, Brian, in general, and so this is the Black Panther side. I've got other rooms that have different characters in it. I like Black Panther
stuff in them.
Especially liked him in the movies. So it's kind of cool.
Let's look here. Oh, Brent bought a copy too. Thanks, Brent. We appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Let's see. Oh, I saw something. What did David say up here? Probably just a question. What changed the name? I think this was. Let's say lie. I mean, it's really a lie. Change the name. Did we change the name?
Not sure what he means.
Yeah, I don't think we changed the name, did we? Was it ever called anything else? Was the book ever called anything else at any point?
There was 5 names, but no one knew them except for me.
Yeah. So we never settled on a name at any other point.
That's the only name I've ever been.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe we're talking about something else, David, and I'm out of context, maybe. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
I
don't think we've ever changed it. So
yeah. There you go. Nathaniel's an introvert too. So there you go, Maverick. Yeah. More than one.
Most of us
Trust
are.
Me,
that's it.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. Before we talk about the rest of the
I think he's talking about, now that I know what David's talking about, he's talking about changing the names of the people.
Oh, change the names of the people. Okay.
Right. He wants to know why I did that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So we struggled with that a whole lot of time, but the way I feel about this is, David, in general, I would want to go get a release from somebody, even if it's a positive story. I don't have any really negative stories. I think the most negative story would be the one about Ronnie. I mean, but that's not really negative at all. I mean, but there's some people that just don't want their stuff out there. And so I changed the names. I don't think it's a lie to change the names. We're telling you up front in the second page of the book that I changed the names.
Yeah.
Because it just makes
it's not our information to share. That's the other thing too.
Sometimes it is. I'm part of this conversation, I'm part of this story, but I felt like I'd have to go get releases from everybody. And I just don't want to use people's names without their okay. So instead of trying to get some stories that are change the names and then some that weren't, we just decided to change them all.
Yeah. Because the point wasn't the name. The point is the stories are all 100% true.
Yeah, all the stories are real. Let's say that you're out there and you're on your 3rd software job. You're extremely well adjusted, and then there's a story in here that talks about where you doubted you could do this. Yeah. And when I had a conversation with that person, I said, you can do this, you can do it. And then when you get your first job and you're talking to me and there's a single tear running down your face, you may not want that because that's a different person than you are today, and I'm not trying to embarrass anyone. My goal is to tell people that think just like you do, that think that I can't do this. There's no way I can do it. I look away a certain way. I talk a certain way. I behave a certain way. I can't do this because, I just don't think I can. And the point of the book is Coder Foundry is we come alongside people and we become a teacher, a coach, and a mentor. And we tell a lot of people, absolutely, you can do it. And we've told people too that you should probably look for something else to do. And so like some of the stories are more about like, what people don't understand is it's really not about me. It's more about like, I convinced you to put in the effort, you know, like you had to go do all the work and do all the things. And then, and so that moment of self-doubt that you turn into a win is what I like to see inside a Coder Foundry. And it's not really about me, it's about them. But they may not want that story. They may want to be like, I'm self-adjusted and confident now. And I get that too, man. Like, you know, you don't ever want to see yourself about when, you know, you didn't feel the same way about you, the way you do now. Right. So that's all. Yep. That's all it's about. So.
Yep. There's another, what did I lose it here? Here we go. We don't know, Thomas, how there are new and used copies of the book for sale already.
This is our first rodeo in this, man.
Yeah. We're learning about Amazon.
Yeah.
It's the Wild West still. Amazon is still the Wild West when it comes to reselling stuff.
Yeah.
These guys had the book before we had the book. Like
exactly.
We have no idea how.
It's in a used hard copy, a hardback copy. I don't even have a hardback yet. So like, it's like, how did you get it? Like, so he must know someone at the printing press and he's pulling them off, you know, like
maybe.
I don't know how it works.
But, we really don't know. This is a learning curve for us too.
Yeah, even the publisher told us that's a common thing that happens with every book release.
Yep.
We don't know if there's people out there selling it before they actually have it. We're not sure, or that they have it.
Yeah, my first instinct was like somebody trying to scam somebody, but I'm like, I don't think it's that. You have to physically ship this thing. So, here's the other thing too. It is on books on Apple too. Yeah. But it is $9.99 too. So, but it is on here. There's also an audiobook version on here too. There's going to be an Audible version later on too, though.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would prefer you spend the 99 cents on Amazon because it actually helps us. This is 10 times more on books. But you know, if you got to buy it on books, you can. It is there.
Yeah. And it'll be $9.99 next week. Just to let you know. Yep. So it is truly just the first week for the audience here to get it and grab it.
Yep.
And go.
Yep. This is for the number of pages.
172, I believe.
It's 172.
Yeah,
I'll tell you right now.
That range.
Right here. It's 178.
178.
Yeah, 178 pages.
Yep. Just about that thick.
It's a
book.
I like the way that it's set out too, though.
Yeah.
I like the way that you chapterize the stuff is super good. Let me open it up here because it's like I like this part. Oops, hold on. I like this up. I like where it's like these little subsections. Like there's a chapter and then these little subsections that make it for me. It's like I like to read it like that. So it's like I like to read these little sections. We'd be like, oh, I got like 5 minutes to read. I'll just read this part about like .NET. Like the way that it's broken up is super good. You did a great job with that.
So Elijah, this is interesting. When we recommend, so what we're talking about in general, when you come to the Coder Foundry Bootcamp in general, you have a 2-week out, which means that you can take the class for 2 weeks. And then you have a loan, you paid in cash or an ISA. On that Friday, you can say, this isn't for me. And you can get out and you don't owe us anything. You cancel your loan, cancel your ISA, get a full refund. So that's what we do. And then sometimes there are some students where we say, you maybe ought to consider a different way to do this. We don't think you can do this in 12 weeks. And we just have it's uncomfortable conversation because we want you to win, but we hope that that these students can realize that we're not here just to take your money. You know, so like there's some people that they just can't do this in 12 weeks. And so you can see right away when we're trying to explain, like we have one guy that couldn't even type coming in. So like that's why
it's tough.
Yeah. And so like when you have a learning disability, maybe you're dyslexic and you can't type, it's going to be in 12 weeks. This isn't the best use of your money. Go to community college, do some other things first. And so like one of the things about boot camps in general and private college in general, they get a bad rap for just being like a factory to get people in and graduate and take their money. And the education doesn't line up with student outcomes. And we work really hard trying to line up student outcomes. And then we've had people that we've told them, to leave, and they wanted to stay, and we let them, but it didn't work out. Usually we're right, you know.
Right.
So yes.
Okay.
Fairy Papa says our book is $1 on Amazon. It's 99 cents. We know. Yeah.
It is 99 cents. Somebody said here too that here you go, Fiona, it's only 80p in the UK.
Okay. How's
Even
that
cheaper.
translate?
So 80 pence. It's 0.8 of a pound.
Okay. All right. So then there's like 1.2 exchange rate. So it's about 99 cents, something like that.
Yeah. So it's like, they've done an actual exchange rate, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a common thing. I don't know how this is priced on the back end.
The Genius link takes you to the different version. So it'll take you to the UK Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah. So the link that we have down there, which I'll put down there again, actually, that link takes you to whatever country you're signed in as. On Amazon, it takes you to your specific country link. That makes sense. But yeah, that's interesting. I thought it would have priced it at £1. So
John, this is about Codifying. Where are you at in classes by week 2? So week 1 is Bootstrap HTML. Week 2, we're doing JavaScript coding challenges and a little bit of C#. And then after that, it's we're learning C# all day, every day for the next 10 weeks.
Those first 2 weeks are pretty intense. You do a lot in 2 weeks.
It's a lot of work.
But you have your portfolio ready at the end of that part too, pretty much.
Week 1, coding challenges week 2, and then you may be revisiting these things as you go. And then we move on to blog, then we move on to Bug Tracker, then we move on to Financial Portal with Xamarin and Web API. So there's a lot to do in 12 weeks. You're going to spend 50, 60 hours here. So a week.
Look.
Yeah.
He's back.
Jason's joking.
Here he is. Jason, don't. This better be good.
This better be good. So
he's going to be back every day now because we put him on. That's
all right.
But clearly Fiona's really looking forward to it. Like based on yesterday's effort.
And this is why people drop our class, because Jason's joke time. That's what happened. Oh my God! You read the instructions.
Okay, so I know. So here it is. How did the programmer go bold in the shower? He read the instructions. Lather, rinse, repeat.
All right, cool.
We just quit now.
Thomas Zane doesn't get it.
Okay. That's funny.
If you have to explain it, Thomas, you're with me. It's not funny. But
no, that's right. If you do have to explain your joke, that's a bad joke.
So lather, rinse, repeat a thing where you do something over and over again. So if you wash your hair over and over again, you can go bald, I guess, according to Jason. So
come back. There you go. He nailed it. Come back tomorrow, Jason.
Jason is bald, by the way, so maybe he's doing it.
So it's okay for him to joke about it. Oh, that's funny. Let's talk about one other off-book topic too. While we're here, I think. Let me look here. Maverick was mentioning about it here because we talked about this yesterday too. We jumped off yesterday right before WDC keynote, and I didn't watch it. I saw some of the new stuff last night.
I watched the first 15, 20 minutes of it. Okay,
yeah. So we got iOS 14, Mac OS Big Sur, and surprise, surprise, the switch to their own silicon processors, which is exactly what we said it would be. And it was they almost kept it to the end too. It was like the one more thing. Now, if you should go back and watch this though, from a production standpoint, the way they did it was super good. They took you to their secret lab, which was legit cool looking. I was like, I'm looking in the back. I'm not listening to the guy. I'm looking at what's happening in the background. I'm like, they've got like the Apple rack servers and they got all this like cool technology. And I'm like, I think this is legitimately actually one of their rooms. I think it genuinely is. There was too much tech in there for it to be a set.
Oh, it wasn't a set.
I was like, this is legit. But the way they did the pass back and forth between the two people who were talking with they faked the cut. And I was like, oh, this is good. I was like, this is really good production. This is like high end.
Yeah, so like if you watch Microsoft's conference, theirs was more like a lot of Zoom calls stitched together. It wasn't bad.
Of course it was. Of course it was.
So like it wasn't bad. I wouldn't say Zoom, they use Teams or something like that.
Right.
So like whereas I think
Apple had a director.
Yeah, tried to make a TV show. I mean, that's kind of what they did.
Yeah.
So parts of it were good. I mean, the production values were really good. So
I always look at that stuff because I find it interesting.
Yeah. And then making their own hardware isn't bad. I mean, like those. I mean, you know, they probably should.
From what I could tell,
PowerPC before this, and it's not like they haven't done it before.
They did, and from what I could tell, they're basically saying that the chips that are in these are the same chips they're going to put in their laptops.
Yeah, that's hard to believe.
Which
they got to be different somehow.
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't get all into the technical stuff, but that's pretty much what they were saying. Same silicon they're using like iPad, they're going to use in their laptop stuff. I was like, okay, that's interesting. But they're saying it's crazy powerful. And these things with the Rosetta and Universal things too, they have a 2-year window to like push this stuff out.
Yeah.
There's no hardware announced, by the way, with this new stuff in it. But a 2-year window to push this stuff out.
Yeah. So like and then they're talking about VMs, Tech Epsilon. They had to do this. I mean, like I'm using Parallels. Every single person that gets a Mac OS that's a developer is putting Parallels on it. So like it's just the nature of where Microsoft and all these guys are going is putting these under the same hardware. So it's kind of cool. I mean, I
didn't see this part. I wonder how this works. It's interesting.
So Bootcamp's kind of native.
So Bootcamp now runs, because obviously Bootcamp now is totally separate, right? It runs, you have to boot into either Windows or into, if you're not using Parallels, using Bootcamp, you boot into one OS or the other. Yeah. So they're making basically their own version of Parallels then that's part of the OS.
Right. And then Parallels is probably like crap. There goes our company.
I'm sure they are.
So like, you know,
they're going to be like, man, when they offered to buy us last year for $1 billion, we should have taken it.
We should have taken the money to them. I don't know if you've seen.
I wonder if that ever happened. Yeah. Oh well.
So I don't know. I just used a Vin Diesel quote there. So.
What's this? What's Shane saying here?
Oh, he's pulling out some ternary functions there.
Okay.
If the eggs are greater than 0, then he needs, I don't know, 12 or 1, I guess. I don't know. So it's kind of cool.
It's just one of those things you got to Google every time you need to use them. Ternary functions. So we're talking about yesterday.
I don't know what milk count.
Ternary operators.
I don't know how you count milk. 12 milks or 1 milk. So
I don't know. Maybe that was an answer to something in chat that I wasn't paying attention to.
I gotcha.
There you go. I'm with this, but I get it from a company perspective.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they want. That's how it works. Yeah. I mean, I have the Apple credit card, and I think it's the greatest thing ever. Trust me, whenever you hand it to somebody at the store, they're like, wow, that's cool.
So like what I find interesting about this whole discussion about closed and open source is like for years, I mean, like literally decades, Microsoft was the whipping boy of like they're a closed system, you know, and Apple somehow never, ever, ever, ever got that criticism ever. Right. And they are the most closed ones out there, period. I mean, it was awful. Yeah. And I could just see the Microsoft execs like, dude, like, why are the press on us, man? What did we do? You know, it's like, where theirs was actually more open because they allowed people to take Windows and put it on their own hardware. They weren't a hardware manufacturer. And now they've open sourced .NET and everything. But I think it's going that way. We'll see. I think you got to realize that Apple's a hardware company. They don't want other people to manufacture their hardware. They're not going to license their OS. They're just not going to do it. That's not their job.
No.
Yeah. And
it doesn't have to
by how much money they make that it works for them. You know, it works for them. Yeah. They could sell licensing to Dell and say Dell make a knockoff MacBook, but they don't trust Dell to make one.
Right.
So they don't, and so they want to be the only place where you can get it. So it's kind of it is what it is. But at least we have choice elsewhere too, so it's good. That's
the thing. Yeah, there's always choice. There you go. One expensive Mac just to install Windows apps on it. But the hardware on the Mac is good. That's the thing.
That's the problem. So like
hardware is great.
You can do something from Dell, Lenovo, if I said that correctly, HP, and get a high-end laptop. When I bought my MacBook, I was comparing it to a Surface Book. I locked myself in. I didn't allow myself to look around. I said I want one of these two devices. I just did. It doesn't make sense why I was that way. And when you compare like what you can get on Surface Book, even the new one, you can just get way more hardware specs into it. And that's a common complaint for us guys that are devs or creatives. Why didn't Surface Book have something that you can get an i9 on, 64 gigs of RAM? You know,
I mean, you lost me at the fact it doesn't have an i9. Like, if you don't have the latest, fastest processor,
I don't know.
What's the point? Like,
i7s are fast. I mean, it's fast, and it can get really confusing when you're looking at Intel's product line. And so now, if you think about like Apple, when they come out with this new stuff, they can just say you get the Apple chip, and there may be like fast and faster. I don't know what they'll do, but like they won't have an Intel naming scheme that is like complete. You have to go back and look at a cheat sheet to figure out like, so which one is Snowflake or whatever it is. Like,
they've made it a little bit easier now. So those 10th generation chips just came out, right? So when I bought this PC that I have here, so I got an i9 9900.
Yeah.
Right. The new one is an i9 1090 or something like that. So they made the generation part of the thing. So it's still an i9, but it's like a next generation i9. But I agree with the naming conventions, right? The Snowflake and the whatever else they've gone. It's like, man, that stuff's confusing. Like, which one? I mean, I have it right in front of me. Which one do I have again? Because it doesn't even tell you on it which one it was.
Yeah, and they got chips coming out every 6 months. So it's not like it happens once a year. This is the new fast one. It's like, and then they have all this variability in their product line, which is like, you know, you've got like multi-cores, and then you got like clock speed, and sometimes you have a clock speed one that's higher than the other 6-core one. So I get a 4-core that's higher clock speed.
Yeah.
And then you just end up, okay, how much does the big one cost? Okay, I'm going 2 versions down. So that's how I do it. Like, you know,
exactly. No, that's exactly it.
$1,000 for a processor. You know, I'm going to pay $400 or something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, exactly. See, that's what I did with mine. I got an i9. It's like, it's not the whatever the top one is. It's the one below. I did the exact same thing with the graphics cards. I didn't get a 2080 Ti, which is a $1,400 or $1,300 graphics card. I got a 2080 Super, which is just below it and like half the price.
So Maverick's laughing at our name, chip Snowflake. I don't think it's actually called Snowflake Maverick.
Whatever it is, they have terrible names.
It is kind of funny. It came to my mind.
Here you go. Here you go. He knows the names: Coffee, Whiskey, Ice, Amber, Ice, and Cabby. Cabby was a terrible name too. But yeah, those are the actual ones. But you know what we mean.
Yeah. So,
you get it.
Snowflakes in the
culture. Adam's all on the AMD train at the minute.
It's fine, man. I think it's good. Even though AMD too, like even AMD has confusing product lines. Like if you don't really go to like Tom's Hardware or something like that, try to figure out like which one it is and stay up to date when they release new things.
Yes.
You can't learn it. It's not unknowable. It's just like when you look at it, which one do I want to buy on, and you're on Newegg or something, you're like, which one?
I spent weeks looking at stuff before I spec'd mine out to make sure that it was the right thing that I wanted. But I had to spend weeks in it because I'm not immersed in it every day. So I had to spend weeks figuring out, like, you know, looking on like Reddit and on Tom's Hardware and on like that kind of stuff to figure out where the sweet spot was before I purchased it. But you're right, you got to be in it to know.
If you're building your own,
they're all confusing.
Sure. And then so like what's Apple does very smartly is they give you less choice and then upgrade options, and so they just
get the new MacBook Pro, and it's how much space, how much hard drive and RAM would you like?
And there's processors that you can do a little bit, but like, and the Surface Book was the same way. Like you had a couple of processor choices, 2 sizes, but the upper end of that laptop was priced at the upper end, but it didn't have the same hardware specs as that on MacBook Pro that I currently got. So, and before the new ones just came out. So kind of cool.
Man, MSV's on a 1st gen i3.
Okay.
Wow. That's cool. And are we streaming okay on that? Are we like That's kind of crazy. That's cool though. I wish I'd have kept some of my old hardware from previous PCs just because it's kind of interesting to look at.
I've got a warehouse full of crappy hardware. So
I find that stuff fascinating. I do keep all the hard drives. That's one thing that I do keep. You never know.
Just let me know if you want a broken old laptop. I think I have 20 of them. So
here you go. Is that true, Adam? Can the new AMDs, can they really go that high for a single chip? Or is that like a supercomputer? You got to have 512.
I mean, you get 512. I think you get 512 on the toaster. You can go look at it. Apple. I think you can.
Can you?
I'm not sure.
That's craziness, man. Which, by the way, watching the keynote yesterday, watching all those Apple screens on there, those displays, just made me want one. Did you see how cool they looked?
I guess, but I've always thought that in the display arena, I've always thought they were way overpriced for what you get.
Oh, it's way overpriced. Don't get me wrong. The stand's $1,000. Like, it's ridiculous.
You get an IPS monitor from HP, like Dreamcolor or something like that. That's like.
No, I agree. It's ridiculous. I think it's like a $4,000 monitor, isn't it? I think it's something really ridiculous. And then the stand's an extra $1,000, something like that. So I think So they're $5,000.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that's ridiculous for a monitor. So that's ridiculous for a monitor.
It's too much.
But they look cool, and they made me want one.
Just go get that OLED, 100-inch. Put it in your house and watch movies.
I don't know. I got this new one, which I actually kind of like. I got what is it? It's an MSI gaming ultra widescreen one, and I like it. I'm actually running on it now since I switched the camera. So it gives me a lot more room to look at stuff on. I was running a laptop screen before, so it's super nice. Yeah. And it was like $700 maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe. Like it's like the price difference is ridiculous.
Yeah. So I think that's the thing about monitors.
Supercomputers, they're cool too. So I worked a little bit at Ohio State at the supercomputer center there. And it was amazing. I got to go in the room with the supercomputers. It was super cool. They're in a server farm, basically, in a center. They had their own little. Obviously, it was super chilled in there. It was pretty cool. Yeah. And actually, they decommissioned one while I was there. The John Glenn supercomputer was decommissioned while I was there, and I got to take one of the sticks of RAM from it, and I still have that. It's on my fridge actually. Maybe I'll show it tomorrow.
Okay, that's kind of cool. But
it's super cool. They were just massive amounts of ridiculous amounts of RAM. I think it's 2,000 sticks of RAM in the supercomputer, and I have one. I think there were 8 gig sticks, and there was 2,000 sticks of it. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. It's interesting.
It is kind of cool.
Yes, Maverick. I just didn't want to spend the money. They were way more expensive.
Yeah.
So
I don't have an ultra wide. I have 2 4Ks put together.
Yeah, which makes a giant ultra wide for you.
Yeah. But I've always wondered if I wanted an ultra wide. I don't know. I may do it one day.
I like it. I'm gonna have a hard time going back. It's super good being on one screen. And Premiere, by the way, when you're doing video, stretch across the whole screen.
That's a bonus.
It's nice.
What I do in Premiere is I'm pushing out the display window or the monitor on one screen, and then I have the edit timeline on the other. Okay. Yeah. And my son's in film school, and he looks at how I do it, and it drives him crazy. He says, "Why are you doing that?" I'm like, "Because I've got my timeline over here, and then I've got my monitor over here, and it just works for me." He goes,
"Right."
No, he likes
the cool thing about stuff like that.
He likes to see the editor underneath the window. So
okay, yeah, I keep mine in the same window too. I do it all in the same window. Yeah. But having it super wide for the timeline being wide, it's killer. It's good.
Yeah, and then like some timelines, like you may have like 20 layers on it, so you want a tall timeline too. And wide. Right. So if you have a lot of sound going on.
Right. So, maybe I get another screen and flip it like the other way, so it's tall up here.
So that's kind of cool. All right. So
here you go. This is a good question for you. What's the first computer you sat in? I guess in front of.
Yeah, the one I remember was a Texas Instrument computer, and then the first coding was on a Mac.
Was it really?
Yeah, Pascal on a Mac in 9th grade.
Oh wow! What kind of Mac was it? Do you remember?
It was the old, remember the gray and
whatever the
little floppy on. I forget what that was called. I think it's just called Mac.
Okay. Yeah. I don't remember which one that was, but I know which one you mean.
So that's crazy. My very first program that I wrote was we had to write some graphics programs, and I wrote a snow scene, and I figured out the pi r squared, which makes a circle, and I put 2 circles on top of each other, a snowman, and then I would rain pixels down and redraw the pixels as it went through. And so I didn't really test it, and so I was bragging about how good I was about stuff. And so I got all my friends around and said, "Watch this. I can make mine snow." And everyone else just had like circles on the thing, and I made snowman or whatever. And the snow came down and erased all the other pixels. And so they
that's funny.
They said, "Yeah, so you made some acid rain there," because that was the big thing at the time.
That's funny.
So note to self, always test stuff before your demo.
Yes. That's great. I remember, so mine was
you know, like make sure you test it before you demo it. So.
That's in version 2. There'll be a revised edition. Yeah. revision 2. Mine was a Commodore 64.
Okay. I had a TI 99. Like I had several you know, kind of stuff like that.
I had the tape deck with mine.
Yeah, I had a tape deck.
Didn't have a floppy, so it was a tape, so you could load games on it from tape.
Yeah.
And I remember programming on it too. We would get these like in the UK. A lot of times at that point in time, when I was young, there would be magazines that would come out weekly, and you collect them all. Yeah. So you'd get this magazine every week, and it would teach you to program stuff, and it was in BASIC.
QBasic. So
it was BASIC on a C64. You know, you'd be like 10, write something, 20, go to 10. You know, it was that kind of, that's how you do a loop, right?
Yeah.
So they were very graphical. And I remember one thing, I remember doing it, and we created a frog. So it was my brother and I would do this, and we'd write. I mean, it felt like, I don't know how many lines it was, but it felt like hundreds and hundreds of lines to make this little frog jump across the screen.
Yeah.
Like, so it was a graphical element, making this one little animation thing jump across the screen, and yeah, I spent way too much time doing it.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
He wants to know, did we link the book in the description? We will as soon as this goes.
It actually is in the description now.
Okay. Is it in there? Okay.
It should be right below. If it's not there, refresh the page. It's the first link down there at the bottom. Yeah. Yes, Chad. Is that how you'd load something from the tape? That command seems very familiar to me.
I do not remember
that. Seems very familiar to me.
Okay.
I think that's telling it to load everything from the tape drive or something like that. That seems very familiar.
Okay, I can't remember.
You like triggered a memory then. That's interesting.
So,
so yes, it is in the description. It's also, I'm putting it again in chat, so you can have the link down there in chat as well.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Let me see here. I remember my first PC too. You remember your first PC, by the way? Remember what that was? I had a Packard Bell beige thing with a CRT attached to it. And I remember getting it from PC World in the UK at the time.
Mine was Zenith.
It was a big deal. It cost me way too much. Oh, really?
Zenith computer, but I remember my first custom built computer. I was at work, and I had it shipped to my work. And I remember all the guys coming around, looking at my full tower, looking at it like it was some kind of like. That was right in the early. You got to remember in the early '90s. There's a lot of custom built companies out there, and but ordering your own custom built computer was like that was next level, man. You know, like
that's totally
pre-Dell. You know, like pre-Dell.
Yeah, I'm sure I got mine in 95, 96, maybe somewhere around that mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were all like they were all beige box PCs at the time. That was it.
Yeah,
you had one,
boxes,
and they had them in the offices. Like I had one in an office, but I think before I probably had one at home.
Yeah. And then Dell ended up killing everybody doing it. But like I can remember putting it together and like putting the first processor on the board, you know, and the CIO at the company I was at was like looking at, do you know what you're doing? I'm like, sure. I had no idea what I was doing.
But I've got this cool PC.
And I'm putting it together in your office, you know. So
exactly. Smell. Had to get stroking and stuff. Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it was a great PC, John. I'm definitely not saying that. But it worked for me. I also remember upgrading the modem from a 33.6 to a 52 at the time. Yeah. Like that was a big deal. And I think we started out. No, it might have had a 14.4 to start off with.
Yeah, 14.4.
We might have gone to a 52. I think it was one of those. I think it started out at the 14.4.
Yeah,
it's 56. Is that what it was? Yeah. I remember getting like the greatest one at the time. It was like dial up and kind of crazy.
So Adam said the first time he saw a PC with LED lighting, he thought it was from NASA. Kevin has a sweet LED. Like if you go to NZXT, they're the kings of that stuff, man.
They are. That seems to be all the rage with these things now. All the RGB stuff in them.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. You can control like every aspect of these things now. So mine I got the liquid cooled one too. So it has the liquid cool block on the processor, and that lights up. The RAM lights up. The fans light up. It is like something from space.
Yeah. So NZXT, like you get the pre-built ones. They don't do this, but if you buy the aftermarket one they have, you can actually program the logo on the front of the cooler.
Yeah,
I mean, you can put some different stuff.
I've thought about changing. When I bought mine, they didn't have that one in stock. That's a Z. So I have an X63. They have a Z. I think it's a Z73, something like that. Z63 or Z73, and they have the one. Yeah, and I still might do it.
I know exactly because it's so.
You can put a little. You can put a little no, it's not just a picture. You can put a little animation on it. You can put little gifs on it.
You can get a little orange.
You can do a little. Yes, you can do a little gif on it. That like I'm like, but they're like $300.
That would be cool.
Maybe one day.
I put my face on it, like on the Converse sneakers on the meme. Yeah, they're running.
We could totally do that.
That's completely
great.
Self-centered. Like I'd put my face on the cooler.
Why not?
Why not? If I had one, I probably would for a minute anyway. So
you gotta try it. Okay, so let's wrap this up here at the top of the hour. So we are doing a book launch tonight. I'm sure you guys have heard about this already because we've talked about it nonstop for the past week or so.
For an hour or two. So.
So if you do want to go, you can go to the website and register there, and you can join our Zoom call.
It's going to be fun. We're planning it. We're still working on a little bit, but like in general, it should be a fun time. The magic show, if you haven't seen Gary Ferrara, that's
free. It's worth showing up.
But it's like so good. Like you're gonna be amazed. And then all the other stuff that we're gonna do. So
Bobby's gonna be there. I'm gonna do some stuff too. Mary Hannah and Natasha are gonna do some stuff as well. So you'll see a bunch of Coder Foundry regulars there.
Mom and Dad.
Cool. Mom and Dad. We're not gonna push it out to YouTube. It won't be on YouTube afterwards. So you do have to attend to see it. Sorry. So that's just the way that's gonna have to be.
Yeah. So anyway, it won't fit in the channel basically. So like it's just and we also have licensing agreements with the magician. So like we don't want to out his whole show.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be fair to him.
So somebody wrote a book. I
guess.
Exactly. Let's do the there's one
giveaway.
I did
giveaway.
I did this is my one last thing here. You guys make sure that you comment something in chat real quick. To be included in the giveaway. I'll make sure we send a signed copy of the book.
15 seconds
to whoever wins.
I'll send a signed copy.
So if you want to comment something in chat real quick, that would be awesome, and I'll give you a minute to do that before Nightbot picks it up.
Yeah, and Adam Brooks just listed Discord if you want to join us in Discord. So it should be good.
Yeah, you can join us in Discord too.
Yeah.
Man, okay, Nightbot might not be working.
Nightbot's not working.
Oh no, here we go. It's populating now. Wow, that took a second. Nightbot's a little slow today. He's quick to shut people down in chat, but
and then he was like,
he's slow on the back end.
He's got an attitude.
Exactly.
Nightbot has an attitude, what it is. Like
yes, exactly. Slow on the back end, but
it's on a smoke break. That's what he's doing.
I guess. Let me see here. It's still a little laggy, so I'm just gonna give it another minute here.
Okay, cool. We'll hang out for the free book
because I see way more comments in here than I see people like back there. So
yeah. What's the registered number right now?
Let me see.
Yeah, I said smoke break. MSV says no, he's on a tea break.
On a tea break. Okay, we're up to 18, so it's jumped up. It's jumped up a little bit. It was like 5 before. I don't know. Right. I could see there was way more than 5 of you guys talking.
Yeah.
I want to give you all a chance to get in. Let me see. Let me make sure John B's in there because you're the last comment that I see here.
It's available for sure. Because I've sold a bunch.
I don't know if that it could be a somebody else said that it wasn't available too. I think who did I see else said that it wasn't? I think Maverick said he couldn't see it on his store either.
Okay.
Could be a delay thing too, though. I'm not sure. I don't know how it pushes out to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
We'll probably check with the publisher too to see if there's any exceptions for it not getting pushed to another country. I don't know why there would be, and they didn't certainly mention it. But okay, let me see. We have 19. Who was last? Honor and Glory. There you go. I see. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. I'm gonna roll it. Let's pick one. Let's see who's gonna win today.
Let's do it.
Okay. We have a regular winner today.
Okay. Who won? I can't see
go.
it from here. Night
Fury
Papa.
Papa
Fury
won.
Papa has won the giveaway. All right, Fury Papa, what's up? You got a book. That's awesome. So
and look, here's what he wrote too. Bobby, give it to me. So
all right.
Your demand is fulfilled.
That's it. Nightbot saw, he had mercy on you for.
That's cool. Awesome. Congrats. So 2 things. You can either send me an email at info@codefinder.com, or if you're on Discord, I think you're on Discord. If you're on Discord, you can just @ me on there @Doyle, and I will add you to the list. So as soon as we don't have our books in yet. As soon as the books come in, we'll get them signed. We'll get them sent out to all you guys that have one. So make sure that we get them sent out.
But it's gonna be sometime mid-July before those will probably get sent out. Just give us a couple of weeks. We'll send them all. The people that have won over the last couple of weeks, we'll send them all out.
Yep. We will definitely make sure you get them.
Yep. Sounds cool. All right. Well, Kevin, we'll see you at 7, and everyone else. I hope I can see you at 7 tonight as well. But if I don't, good luck and just keep coding.
See you later.